So I want to tell a story about my experience giving birth now. So now the two of us have five kids. So these two are both deaf. This one's hearing, and she's a girl. I have three girls. This one, and this one, and these two are boys. Now I want to make sure we're clear here. It's not that's not the order of them. Yeah, I guess I could be more clear. Sorry, I interrupted you. Go ahead. Well, see, when I was growing up, I always wanted to become a mom, to be pregnant. I loved holding babies. And so I knew, when we got married, we sort of discussed we were going to wait 2 years, work to save money, buy a house, all of that. And so, yeah, it really quickly she got pregnant. Yeah, actually, it was pretty fast. So, that's right. I totally forgot about that. At first I was like, what are we going to do? And then I was like, oh, wait, I'm married. Of course. And then I started to get excited about it. So we started to plan. So, I was pregnant and it was crazy because we were so new to it. And knew I needed to find an OBGYN. And I was sure that I wanted to have a female OBGYN, but I didn't know anything about that. So um, we discussed that and we were trying to figure out and ask people who the best OBGYN in the area was. I swear we checked like five different doctors. I don't even know. And then we had to figure out who to have interpret for us. And we found a woman whose husband is deaf, and even though she'd never interpreted a birth before, we said, come on, we'd love to have you interpret for us. Next, we had to go about deciding our birth plan, and so I wanted my husband to cut the cord, and I was really wanting to have a natural childbirth, and so I showed it to the doctor, and he was like, sorry, excuse me, she was refusing to do it. Well, I guess the reason why is, because she sort of described like the doctor was saying, and we were new, so we just sort of accepted, that the doctor wasn't willing to do it. Yeah, I was confused, why the doctor said, no, you can't do that. You can't have him deliver the baby and why he can't cut the cord. I guess, it was like there were legal reasons why he wasn't able to. And it was kind of confusing, but it was our first time, and so we just sort of accepted it. And so then we were waiting. We waited up till actually past 40 weeks. Yeah, and I heard that we could, make it till 42 weeks, but the doctor said that we should at 41 weeks I needed to be induced to start contractions. I said that's fine. I mean, again, we were very new to it, so we're excited, and the doctor, I mean, no, excuse me, no, that the hospital, gave me medicine for it, and both of our moms were there, like, trying to, like, what do we do now? Then they wanted to be there and experience that, and it was a new experience having to have an interpreter there, and they told me that the contractions would be fast, so you know, I guess I didn't understand. So the first time it didn't really happen. Like, 3 hours, and I'm starting to get like excited still. It's fine. We're just sort of waiting and being excited, and it's like in the morning. Pretty. It's like taking all day, and we're still waiting. Wait, and I'm like, what's wrong? Like, why shouldn't the contractions have started already? And so then they ended up having to give you a second or a second or third dose of it, and finally started having, contractions. And so I was, doing all the stuff that we learned in, I believe it was Lamaze class. Yeah, so I'm like helping her with the breathing, and I'm trying to like, be a good partner. And so yeah, and he was counting. I'm like 1, 2, 1, 2. Yeah, I remember. Yeah, and so I'm like counting, and the two of us, our mothers are in the room. Oh, yes, yeah. So and so they're standing off to the side, and they're like watching, excitedly waiting for something to happen. And my video's not playing now. Let me see. And so I'm like trying to help her, and she didn't want to get an epidural. Right? Yeah, that's right. She didn't want to get an epidural. Yeah, I was, really determined to do it natural. And so, as a husband, I'm like, she's, I'm fine, I'm fine. And so, I'm like just trying to stay focused. I'm trying to be helpful, and I'm like apologizing and trying to help her keep breathing. And I'm like, so it's like all hands on deck. I'm trying to help her continue, and my breath is synchronizing with hers. And so, and so like I keep, continuing, and I'm just trying to breathe and continue and stay focused. And finally, like I gave up and got the epidural. And so all night long into the next morning, she was still in labor. I, I had, read a lot about, doing natural childbirth, and I wasn't really planning to have an epidural, but someone told me that, that they told me, it's fine, like it's okay to ask for an epidural. And so the contractions, let me think, it was, it was so painful when it really got started, and that I it was the contractions were so painful that I didn't even feel the needle going in my back. I literally felt nothing, and so it was such a relief. It's how soon should I stop feeling pain? And they're like, okay, just a minute, and then I was like, yeah, like all night long you were in pain, and then I remember when I got the epidural, I was, I just it was like immediate change. I just felt so much better. Yeah, I mean, she was having pain all night long, and the baby was born at like 4:30 a.m. Do you remember? So the doctor, the male doctor, and I ended up having to change over. And one time, at one point, it, we were doing, we had discussed like what to do. There was lots of emotions, and yeah, and it was, all night. It was like, it was like a, aside from God, I couldn't see, anything. And I think they had like a blanket so like the doctor could see, to do what they needed to do. Having some video issues here. Yeah. So the doctor ended up using the baby kind of got stuck, so they had to use like the jaws of life to try to get the baby out. And yeah, there's a lot, there's blood. Yeah, I mean the interpreter's just, standing there, like, able to see us. They're like pulling this baby out. And finally they were able to get the head out, you know. And it was just wild, and that there was a baby, and it was crazy. And then the baby's like moving all around, and we got to find out that it was a girl, and we got to see, they took the baby into a room and made sure everything was okay. They were checking it. They were like, looking to see that, make sure everything was there, make sure the mother was okay, and that she was fine. And then I got to, we got to. Uh, so I feel like, I remember like I was like trying to pay attention, to the interpreter, but I remember seeing, it was mom, and then they said that like the baby was like stuck, and they ended up having to do a C-section, and it was all kind of a blur. So finally, they're trying to, tell me to be strong, and the interpreter, the, you know, the interpreter was, saying, no, no, it's fine. It was, I don't know why, but I remember feeling, it was like I was cold, but then, the baby felt like really warm on my chest. I saw the interpreter. I don't know. I was like, hurry, hurry, hurry. And it was, it was like I was like crying because I was so happy to see the baby. And I just remember, the doctor like coming to me and the expression on his face. The interpreter was just standing there. Your baby, failed the baby failed their hearing test, with this really somber look on his face, and we were all like so excited, and the doctor was like, that's right, that's right. Like, do you know how to raise a deaf child? And the look on my face, I just the two of us just looked at each other, and we were so surprised.